Theme parks promise thrills, but sometimes, those thrills turn into real-life nightmares. Today, we're counting down the most shocking accidents that forced legendary rides to close forever. From high-speed slides to mind-bending coasters, these stories changed the amusement park industry. Buckle up, let's dive into the most infamous ride shutdowns ever. Let's start with Action Park's Alpine Slide, infamously called the Graveyard Slide. This wasn't just any amusement park ride, it was a rite of passage for thrill-seekers and daredevils, a test of courage that separated the bold from the cautious. The Alpine Slide quickly gained a reputation as one of the most dangerous attractions in theme park history, and for good reason. Action Park in New Jersey was the Wild West of amusement parks in the 70s and 80s. It was a place where rules seemed more like suggestions, and the thrill of danger was part of the main attraction. Families flocked to the park, drawn by its promise of unfiltered excitement and rides you couldn't find anywhere else. Rules were minimal, safety was questionable, and the Alpine Slide was a concrete track down a steep mountain. The track twisted and turned, hugging the hillside with little more than a few hay bales and wooden planks to keep riders from flying off the edge. The sense of danger was palpable from the moment you saw it. Riders used tiny plastic sleds with just a handbrake, helmets were optional, and sleds were often broken. Many of the sleds had faulty brakes or worn-out wheels, making it nearly impossible to control your speed. Some riders would discover too late that their sled couldn't stop at all, sending them careening down the track at breakneck speeds. The slide was notorious for injuries. People flew off the track, scraped themselves on concrete, or crashed into others. It wasn't uncommon to see riders limping away with bloody elbows, torn clothing, or even broken bones. The ride's design left little room for error, and mistakes were paid for in skin and bruises. Local hospitals could spot an Action Park injury instantly. Nurses and doctors became experts at treating the unique scrapes and burns caused by the Alpine Slide's unforgiving concrete. Some even joked that they could tell which day of the week it was by the number of Action Park injuries coming through the door. The most infamous accident involved a young man fatally striking his head on a rock after being thrown from his sled. This tragedy sent shockwaves through the community and made national headlines, highlighting just how dangerous the ride truly was. It was a sobering reminder that the Alpine Slide was more than just a thrill, it was a real risk. This tragedy, along with hundreds of injuries, finally forced regulators to shut the ride down. The state stepped in, demanding changes and stricter oversight. For many it was too little, too late. The damage to the park's reputation was already done. Action Park tried to fix things, but the damage was done. The ride's reputation was ruined. Attempts to repair the track and improve safety couldn't erase the memories of pain and fear. The Alpine Slide became a cautionary tale, a symbol of what happens when fun goes unchecked. The Alpine Slide was among the first rides closed as lawsuits and outrage mounted. Families demanded accountability, and the park faced a wave of legal battles. The once popular attraction was now a legal and financial nightmare for Action Park. For those who rode it, it was more survival challenge than fun. The fear was real, and the adrenaline rush was matched only by the relief of making it to the bottom in one piece. Some people wore their scars like badges of honor, proof that they'd braved the most dangerous ride around. The ride was permanently closed, and the legend of Traction Park was born. The nickname came from the countless injuries. So many people left with road rash and bandages that it seemed like a rite of passage just to survive a day at Action Park. Even today, people share scars and wild stories about surviving the Alpine Slide. Reunions and online forums are filled with tales of near misses, epic crashes, and the unforgettable rush of flying down that mountain. The ride may be gone, but its legend lives on in the memories, and the scars, of those who dared to try it. It's a reminder of how far theme park safety has come. Today's parks are held to strict standards, with rigorous inspections and advanced safety equipment. The Alpine Slide stands as a stark contrast to the careful planning and engineering that goes into modern rides. Would you have dared to ride it? Imagine standing at the top, sled in hand, heart pounding as you look down that twisting concrete track. Would you take the plunge, or would you play it safe? The legend of the Alpine Slide still asks that question, daring a new generation to imagine what it was like to face the most dangerous ride ever built. Now let's head to Disneyland, where even the happiest place on Earth faced tragedy. Amidst the laughter and joy, an unexpected disaster struck. In 2003, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad suffered a catastrophic derailment. This ride, known for its thrilling twists and turns, became the site of a heartbreaking incident. A maintenance error caused a wheel assembly to come loose, derailing the train inside the mountain. The malfunction was sudden and unexpected, catching everyone off guard. One guest lost his life, and several others were seriously injured. The park, usually filled with joy, was enveloped in sorrow and disbelief. Investigations revealed shortcuts in maintenance and poor staff communication. Disneyland closed the ride, overhauled safety protocols, and took a hard look at their procedures. They redesigned the braking and wheel systems, ensuring such a tragedy would never happen again. The overhaul was extensive and necessary. The shutdown lasted months and was a wake-up call for the entire industry. Safety became the top priority, overshadowing all else. Big Thunder Mountain eventually reopened, but the accident left a lasting scar. The memory of that day lingers, a somber reminder of the importance of vigilance. Every detail, from track inspection to ride operation, became a focus for improvement. The park's commitment to safety was renewed with a fervor. It's proof that even magical places must prioritize safety. The lessons learned from this tragedy have shaped the future of amusement park safety standards. Would you still ride it after hearing this? The choice is yours. But remember, safety is now at the forefront of every ride. Next up, we visit Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom's Superman Tower of Power, a ride that once promised heart-pounding thrills, but ended in a tragedy that would haunt the amusement park industry for years. This towering drop ride, visible from miles away, was a magnet for adrenaline seekers, drawing crowds eager to experience the rush of a 177-foot freefall. But on a summer day in 2007, excitement turned to horror in a matter of seconds. As the ride slowly ascended, packed with unsuspecting riders, a thick steel cable suddenly snapped without warning. The cable whipped violently through the air, lashing out at the passengers and causing chaos and confusion. Screams erupted as the ride came to a halt, and the true extent of the disaster became clear. The most horrifying result was the traumatic injury suffered by a young girl whose legs were struck by the cable with devastating force. She lost both of her feet in the accident, a life-altering injury that shocked everyone present and sent shockwaves through the nation. The ride's emergency system kicked in, bringing the carriage to a stop. First responders rushed to the scene, fighting against time to help the injured and calm the terrified crowd. The park was thrown into chaos as families and friends searched for loved ones and witnesses struggled to process what they had just seen. News of the accident spread rapidly, dominating headlines and TV broadcasts across the country. The incident became one of the most infamous ride malfunctions in amusement park history, sparking debates about ride safety and oversight. Investigators soon discovered that poor cable maintenance and inadequate inspections were to blame. The steel cable had shown signs of wear that went unnoticed, raising serious questions about the park's safety protocols and the industry's standards as a whole. In the aftermath, Six Flags made the difficult decision to permanently shut down the Tower of Power, not just at Kentucky Kingdom, but at other parks as well. The ride's imposing structure was dismantled, and its absence left a void in the skyline and in the hearts of thrill seekers. The tragedy forced the entire amusement park industry to reevaluate safety procedures. Sweeping changes were made to drop ride maintenance, with stricter inspection routines, and new regulations to prevent similar disasters from ever happening again. The victim's story inspired lawmakers to push for new safety laws and industry-wide reforms. Her courage in the face of tragedy became a catalyst for change, ensuring that future riders would be better protected. The Tower of Power never reopened. Its empty platform and silent structure now serve as a sobering reminder of the risks that can lurk behind even the most thrilling attractions. Even rides that appear perfectly safe can hide dangerous flaws beneath the surface. The incident is a chilling lesson in the importance of vigilance, maintenance, and respect for the forces at play in these engineering marvels. After hearing this story, would you still trust a drop ride, or would you think twice before buckling in for the next big thrill? In Australia, Dreamworld's Thunder River Rapids became the site of the country's worst theme park tragedy. In 2016, a raft carrying 6 passengers became stuck and was struck by another, flipping over. 4 people lost their lives in seconds. Investigations revealed faulty emergency switches, poor training, and ignored maintenance. Dreamworld closed the ride, demolished it, and strict new safety regulations followed. Attendance plummeted, and the tragedy sparked a national conversation about amusement park safety. The memory of that day will never truly fade. Would you ever feel safe on a rapids ride after this? Cedar Point's Shoot the Rapids was a massive log flume, but in 2013, disaster struck. A boat carrying 7 guests flipped at the bottom of the first hill, trapping passengers upside down. Park employees and bystanders rushed to help, pulling people from the water. Thankfully, there were no fatalities, but several guests were injured. A mechanical failure caused the boat to tip, raising serious questions about water ride safety. Cedar Point shut down Shoot the Rapids for good and dismantled it. For fans, it was a real loss, but safety came first. Even routine rides can become dangerous in an instant. Have you ever had a scary moment on a water ride? Knott's Berry Farm's Perilous Plunge was once the world's tallest water ride, but it quickly gained a reputation for being too extreme. Safety concerns surfaced immediately, lap bars felt insecure, and some guests stood up mid-ride. In 2001, a guest was tragically ejected and lost her life. The park re-engineered the restraints, but bad publicity lingered. Ongoing safety worries and maintenance challenges led to its permanent closure in 2012. The ride was torn down, and Knott's moved on to new attractions. Sometimes, the pursuit of bigger thrills just isn't worth the risk. Would you have braved the world's tallest water drop? Our final story takes us to Galaxyland in Canada, home of the Mindbender, one of the world's largest indoor coasters. In 1986, a catastrophic derailment killed 3 passengers and injured many more. A design flaw and poor maintenance were to blame. Galaxyland shut down Mindbender, rebuilt it with new cars and improved restraints, and enhanced safety inspections. The tragedy led to sweeping changes in coaster engineering worldwide. Mindbender eventually reopened, but the memory of the accident remains. For the victims' families, the changes came too late. Even the most thrilling attractions can turn deadly if safety isn't the top priority. Would you trust a coaster after learning about Mindbender's past? These stories prove theme park safety is no joke. Always follow instructions and trust your instincts. Your fun should never come at the expense of safety. Each accident led to changes that made parks safer for everyone. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.